pretty much just driving through.
Well, I've been to Six Flags, and
Down here? Or?
no, New Jersey.
Oh, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm. My fondest memory of New Jersey is having sex in the back of a Ford Escort in pouring rain.
A Ford Escort.
Yes. And sex in the back of a Ford Escort is not one of the most spacious of things.
But that's a
As opposed to my old 1971 Buick Electra
That's
in the
a-
back seat in that sucker. Wow. I mean, really, just lay down and you're fine. And that sucker, but
I had a '64 Buick Wildcat. And
yeah.
it was
I did
one of the
too.
first electric ones. But when your battery went, you really couldn't do anything. I mean, even the antenna didn't work anymore. It was horrible.
Did
But
it have one of the
I missed that car.
retractable, or?
Yeah, it was a Periscope. And, well, we didn't have electric seats, but I did have all electric windows. It was the same as the '65 Cadillac, but it had a lot more class, if you ask me. Big engine, no good miles. And, the mileage was horrible. And the floorboards would definitely rot out after a while. The whole back seat. Well, after the first 15 years, it was all street signs afterwards that got welded together.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a long time ago. But yeah, the gas didn't last long at all. Not on that thing.
Yeah,
It was like a 412 or something like that. It was.
I don't know. What I had was absolutely ridiculously huge. The '71 Buick Electra is definite land yacht. I mean, there's no question about it. Had 250,000 miles on it, so the gas mileage was, I'm sure, even worse than whatever I started with. But the great thing about it, and this was the really early '90s I had it, so we hadn't quite hit that trend of more and more people driving SUVs yet. So, with the exception of big rigs, it was one of the most intimidating things on the road. I could cut off a pickup truck and just.
Well, I had a different appreciation for driving your first few years because we had the energy crisis, and we were told when we could get gas, where we could get gas, what day of the week we could get gas, and if our license plate had all numbers, we were gifted. We had vouchers, but I remember the price of gas just jumping up to. What was it, like an outrageous, 65 cents at the top?
That was before unlimited, right?
No, well, it was on
Or
the voyage.
Yeah, I think unleaded was available.
Yeah.
That time.
That was back when the gas station, the pumps still had those little pith balls in there to make you think it was doing some extra. You remember those?
They would just roll around.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Was it just
It was it looked like a little gumball machine on the side of the tank. It served nothing. It just the pith. But I learned a lot about pith balls.
They were interesting to watch.
Well, now they use them for lottery.
All right. Well, now listen. Now tell us more about some of your background in music.
Okay. Well,
Now tell me again. How did you get started? What was your start?
Oh, I was working with Morris Levy.
Okay.
And
in
he
what
was,
capacity?
In what capacity? Well, I was a co-founder of Strawberries Records and Tapes.
Co-founder. Okay.
Which now is incorporated with FYE.
I don't know.
Music stores around here,
Okay.
local mall.
Yeah. One
Well, they're out of
more-
Albany. Yeah.
One more scum-sucking, mall-trawling entity.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if anybody remembers Warehouse Music. That's gone, and then there was
Whatever happened to actual
Turtles.
music stores, like the Newberry Comics we still have back home down here? I haven't seen a full-on just music store. That's it.
Well, because
Aside of like Best Buy, but
they
it's not
stop at
geared
Charlotte and
towards
then they jump into Tennessee.
Because I mean,
We're
in
in a hole.
Boston, we still got the 5-floor Tower Records, which I don't know. If
No,
it's still
Tower's
Tower.
gone. Tower's gone. They
They
went
Tower
bankrupt.
Records is gone
Russ Solomon.
nationally.
Russ Solomon went bankrupt.
Wow.
They are gone.
I don't know
There.
how.
It's Virgin Megastore
It's
now.
Virgin Megastore.
How? How did it?
Well,
I love
because
that 5 floors of music.
you don't have to you don't have to be wow. You don't have to go and
What's up, John?
you don't have to go to a restaurant to
Hello.
be sold on how many units to go out anymore. Everything's drop shipped, or if anybody's actually buying, the distribution's not the way it used to be.
Yeah.
For what?
Records and tapes.
Ah.
Yeah, it used to be that the buyer would get to go out with the local label rep, and they'd say, well, here's a bargain, you buy so many, and here are the returns policy, and and then they'd take them out to dinner and a drink and a show, and woo them a little bit, and then they'd buy into it.
Right.
And then the returns deal was really great, and hopefully you sold it all so you didn't have to worry about the returns.
We were discussing
You
the
don't
death
have
of
to-
Tower
Yeah,
Records.
hopefully
Yeah.
you sold it all.
I just came in to announce that we
Yes.
are a lock for Calm Power, 1 p.m. Tuesday.
1 p.m. Tuesday,
Yes.
you and I are...
Tuesday.
Okay.
Interviewing. Yes, we're taping it to show on the Matt Howard show later
You
on.
tape it in Studio A?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Have you got Studio A locked down as well?
That's why I came down.
What I'm going to go do right
you
now.
go do that.
All right, I will go do that.
Okay.
You like my seat so you can get in the camera angle better and be on TV?
I'm good here. Thank you.
Okay. Always part of the consideration.
I've also got my 3 episodes, and as soon as Jonathan's free, I am going to sign up for the series.
Awesome.
And I am feeling like I'm going to throw up because of that.
You,
Nervous?
I'm very nervous, yes.
don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'll sit like this.
So you got like scripted questions for them?
Not yet. No, I'm working on that over the weekend.
That ought to be fun.
Yes, it will. There's so many things I want to ask the man. I can't really decide. What's the drug war? What's with immigration?
Well,
Don't give it away. Don't give it away now. No.
Give it away. Oh yeah, there's the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Perhaps you would like to add some suggestions.
Yes. What should I ask Carl Power?
Okay, if you do ask about immigration, pussyfoot around it and go real slow, because he may just skim right over it. He's not having too many good experiences right now. There's also 2 committees he just dropped out of.
Yes,
So
I
that's
saw.
a big thing. You may ask why. And
Although
how.
this is the thing I dislike most about Carl Power is that he sometimes makes you agree with him.
Well, the thing is, I was listening to an interview with somebody who's actually a close friend of his.
Mhm.
They were on the radio yesterday with Matt Matan.
Right.
And she was saying he's a great friend and everything, but when you work with him, he never agrees with you whether he agreed with you before or not. No matter what you're doing, even if it is something he does truly agree with. So your working personality with him and your friendship personality with him are really 2 different things. They said he's very, very hard to work with. And that was a close friend of his.
Doesn't
So,
surprise me. Although it does seem to me ironic that a psychologist has that much trouble getting along with people. That's just the height of irony to me. You'd think a psychologist would be able to better at interpersonal
Relate.
management. Yeah. Well.
But yeah, he's got a lot going on his plate right now. Now the other thing is what I'm hearing from the media may not necessarily be true. And about the committees that he dropped.
Oh,
out.
no, well.
I'm
yeah.
not quite sure. I think you should ask your version. What are you laughing at?
Kind of looks like Honey, We Shrunk the Tea Party. Over That's
I like what your shirt's doing there. That's nice.
Yeah.
Very
I
sparkly.
saw her in the grass. I was like,
It's Honey, We Shrunk the Tea Party.
You.
Look, it's Honey, We Shrunk the Tea Party.
This somehow slipped past the system without this stuff on it.
Oh, okay.
So can you put
Well,
it
no,
up?
but this isn't that though.
I know.
Oh, okay.
But I still somehow put it in there without.
Okay.
checking it.
Now turn around and show your face to the camera.
yeah, and see, it's
No,
how
I
we've been shrunk.
I like the blind spot. Wait, what happened?
I said it was Honey, We Shrunk the Tea Party because we're all in the grass. We're like little.
Oh yeah.
It looks like the grass hasn't been mowed for a while. It's gone to seed, hasn't it?
I'll be the giant.
Actually, the story about this footage is this is near the nature center where all the soccer fields are.
Series
Oh.
application.
And
Cool.
right after I shot this, like immediately after I shot it,
Uh-huh.
they dredged it all. So all this stuff is gone. I only had one chance to do it, so I did it. I just never seen cattails so high and so many. Well, I guess you can if you're looking, but
we gonna run into
I
a
was
big safari
impressed.
animal or something?
No.
Well, how high were they? They're overhead high then.
Some of them were 10 feet high at least.
Huh?
And and they said you could chop those and eat them like bran cereal.
Huh.
You can eat 'em?
What's that guy that
Yeah.
used to do the nature shows?
Mm.
Well, you can eat anything, really.
It's just not. I wouldn't imagine a
Not
cattail would
appealing.
be too tasty.
Although, if you could do the same thing with bran circle you do with cattails, i.e., pour about half a pound of sugar on it, then milk,
So
maybe that
then,
would
I
be.
guess-
You mean like it tastes like wild hickory nuts?
I don't know. Would you eat that?
Yeah, I want that one over there.
I don't know.
We're good?
We're good?
Cool. All right. Yeah, I
Hopefully he won't be early since we can't get started before
Right.
1.
And hopefully my car will work.
Yes,
Yes.
I hope so too.
My car died on me last night.
Again?
No, well,
Oh, the brakes went out earlier.
no. This is the battery.
Oh, that's not.
Okay.
That's $60 or however much it costs to replace battery.
Well, I
these
don't.
days.
I think it was just the cold that was a problem.
Huh.
Because it's,
Oh, that'll take
Did
a
you get
battery out
jump and let
sometimes.
it
Yeah.
run and-
yeah, but even then I had to get a jump again this
Right.
morning at home. But it's working fine now. I'm just going to go home and stay home and
Right.
not drive tomorrow.
You might want to check cleaning your battery cables.
Yeah.
Sometimes people have all these battery woes and they're all freaked out, and it's just a matter of some corroded cables.
You're
Well,
not.
Let it idle
Tomorrow's
a
Mount
little bit.
Dungeon Day. You're not coming out from Mount Dungeon.
Oh, I'm coming from Mount Dungeon Day. I'm not going out tonight.
Okay.
Yeah. Me and my busy Friday night schedule, I'll just have to pass on all that. The
Well,
nothing I'm doing, and then the absolutely nothing, and then the extreme nothing I'm doing later on tonight. I'm passing on that.
tonight I'm going to research and come up with some questions for Life on the Blue Dot, which is who we're filming tomorrow.
All right.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Ben has put me in charge of designing the next Mountain Dungeon flyer.
Have you been watching Mount Dungeon?
I watched the last one, and that was it.
Last night.
We saw Wilson
I
last
saw
night.
part near the end. At work, we had a high def TV. So
Okay. Excellent.
How'd we look on high def?
it's definitely different. No, I'm looking at it's elongated sort of. On
Yeah.
The, yeah,
Sounds
it
like
sort of takes the
stretch.
high
What
def
is-
takes the fun out of it.
What is with it? What do you think? They're bringing in, a wider format television sets, but they don't seem to be able to decide what they're. I see widescreen TVs with a black line at the top and the bottom, stretching the thing out even further. What is
And
this?
it's not. They're just trying to get every inch of whatever image is there, but
Beyond,
that's just.
beyond.
But I see it all stretched out. I mean, I have to manually go in and change it from program to program. You know what I mean? Every time you turn it on.
The commercials with wrestlers look horrible. They just look really like way out of.
Spatially distorted wrestlers, even
Exactly.
more out of
You mean
proportion than normal.
The POWA people? Public Access Wrestling Association? Or do you mean other wrestlers?
No, this was just a commercial that I
Okay.
happened to see. But I mean, I know that when they show sports and like golfing and hockey,
It all makes
they're
me.
just it doesn't fit like that.
It all makes me crazy to watch it. The only thing you can do is take the TV set and turn it at about a 45-degree angle, and then it bring
That is not a solution that would have occurred to me, John.
There we
Go to
go.
somebody's house for the game. Why are you sitting over there? Seemed like the thing to do.
I'm so good I play at the side of the camera.
All right. Well, anyway,
like your
let's get back to it. Now, give us a brief.
Oftentimes
I'm not
wear it.
being helpful to
Obviously
get through
just a
this,
wicked
am I?
thing.
Give us a brief little trail down
So,
hit some of the highlights for us. Let us
Winter,
know
yes.
some of the most more intriguing points.
Tuesday, 1 o'clock.
Okay,
Excellent.
well, I had worked at WBCN FM, and I worked with Billy West for a little bit. Billy West, as in the voice of Ren and Stimpy,
Okay.
and he's about half.
Wasn't
He really is about
So-
that
Wasn't
high.
he involved in the Real Kids too?
Yes, he
Okay.
was.
That's
Real
okay.
Kids
Go
was
for it.
with
Indulge yourself.
Ready Teddy, groups like that way back. A lot of
Where
old
are we gonna
Boston
have the
bands
the
he
next
was
Mount
in.
Dungeon flyer. Designing tonight.
Excellent.
Let me see.
I've got some.
Morris
the
Levy
old one
had,
is out of date. I've got some.
he was the one that,
paperback covers. Up here.
Oh.
The title of it is
That's gone.
The Universe Came.
Oh, I was gonna help.
And it's got this picture of the
I've been told
spaceman
the
with a
story,
bunch
I
of
just
bunny
didn't know where
girls.
you're going with
Actually,
it.
Yeah,
bunny
I
girls.
just
I went
lost
ADD
that
on you guys.
whole thought. It was gone.
Yes.
What he used to
Not
do
just paperback
way
sci-fi,
back,
just
he used to do the same
lead.
thing Dick Clark used to do
Yes,
with
perfect.
the
I
payola band.
approve.
Of course, they didn't call it
Right up there
payola
with
back
the one
then.
entitled The Sexy Saucerman.
Morris would have
I think I'd rather have
his
Sexy
PR
Saucer Women
guys
personally.
go out and have their label bands go out to these clubs that he owned,
Right.
and only his groups would play, and only his groups would be being played on the local radio stations.
Right.
And they all got a monopoly on that.
Right.
And there were many, many guys that used to do that. But at the same time, he could also, because he was the publisher, he could also put his name on every
Or
song
up a tree.
as a writer or whatever the case may be. So
Oh.
he got his hands into every part of the business in one way or another.
Right.
And that also goes back to the collecting of ASCAP and BMI
Right.
residuals and dues and things like that.
Right. And obviously, Nashville was
Is that
set
a
up
cat
the same
trap?
way.
Exactly.
by a lot of folks.
Exactly.
Something's moving about it there.
It's just windy, isn't it?
Oh,
Maybe.
I-
Looked like
I
there
got my
was a
thought
squirrel or
back.
something in
Um,
the center.
Morris was, he worked directly with Alan Freed.
Uh-huh.
Or actually, I should say Alan Freed worked directly with Morris. And Alan used to collect music. He used to collect groups, he used to collect labels, he used to buy little labels, put them all together.
Right.
And eventually,
one more
he
cat that climbs
he
up a
used
tree and
Morris
can't figure
as
out
the
how to get
the money
down.
part.
Uh-huh.
I saw a
And
cat
little
jump
by
off
little,
the
Alan
two-story
Freed started
apartment
losing
and just
everything.
jumped,
As
landed,
as shows
took
would
off.
be
Kept going.
ending with
Well,
riots,
some cats
Uh-huh.
do
rock and roll
that.
shows,
There
especially the
was a band.
Boston shows.
Right. Right. I remember that.
yeah.
That
I will say
period.
that-
Uh-huh. And even at the Apollo, mixing the blacks and the whites, having them dancing together and things like that. And the groups that used to come on, they used to pay the labels off to play these groups and peddle the records. And finally, after Alan Freed passed away, Morris owned it all.
Uh-huh.
And he just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and he ended up being the biggest publisher in the United States.
Did he?
Actually, I think it was probably the world at the time.
Wow.
There wasn't anybody he didn't own at one time or another, or something.
Well,
Somebody's
whatever-
catalogs
Mhm.
or somebody's labels.
Well, whatever became of him?
Morris did pass away in, I guess that would have been 1989.
Mm. Right around there.
He had.
Then we go up to the cottage or whatever it was.
It wasn't a cottage.
Summer
Sunnyview Farm was huge. That's a mansion.
But-
Get in New York.
I
But
in
that wasn't.
November.
He didn't
I
pass
just
away
remember
before
they handed me
KTEL
a
re-released
strawberry
everything,
the
did
size
he?
of this cup.
Ooh.
I was like,
No. Actually, he owned many
That's where it's
mail
at.
order labels.
Uh-huh.
One of them was Adamate Limited Records,
Uh-huh.
which is named after his son Adam. He was 8 at the time. Now he's the president and owner of Warlock Records out of New York, and a lot of little
Uh-huh.
labels also.
Right.
One of the things that he used to do mail order for was actually going back to John Lennon's Roots records that ended up being the rock and roll records that were issued.
Uh-huh.
And he had those they used to play those mail order commercials on like late Saturday nights just before roller derby, way back in the 70s.
Uh-huh.
With the Chubby Checker doing a little thing with the Wurlitzer. What do you call those? I can't think of these words now. Nickelodeon.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and what he would do is he would any single that made it,
Right.
he would put on a 4 record set,
Uh-huh.
and it was on the cheapest vinyl out of Hauppauge, New York.
With little pieces of stuff in it.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
frayed. Yeah, and he had nice boxes, but cheap sleeves.
Uh-huh.
Ow.
Well, I used to have a friend, Glenn Statiris, and Glenn had laser records, and I produced some stuff for him. And his brother owned Gear Records, and his father, Gus, owned
Yeah, sure to do that.
a jazz label. It was
That was fun.
They'll have them for sale within
I
our lifetime.
I have to. My head is so
They've
stopped up. I
already
can't
got-
say, but it
they've
was.
already got prototype stealth material.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
It's a jazz.
I mean, I remember seeing some of the stuff.
It's a jazz term, like
I saw like
Take
still
5 or
pictures
something.
and
It's
Uh-huh.
not that.
kinda
But
cool
it
to,
was
like, seeing they did
Progressive
straight
Records.
YouTube.
Okay.
On Progressive Records, and was friends with Ahmed Erdogan,
Yeah.
who I know you've probably run across
I miss him. Yeah.
And I was so impressed when I was living up in New York. Gus came up, Glenn came up to push one of the records that he was going to try to sell at the Tower, et cetera, which he did. And Gus came up, and Gus,
Is it running?
when they came to visit me at my apartment, which I wound up, see, Glenn is blind, basically. He's legally blind, so I have to lead him around Manhattan and what have you. So,
Sure, I wouldn't be involved with, like,
but Gus,
Well, yeah, you should.
so Gus gets on the phone and he's calling Ahmed Erdogan, you know, and I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's calling Ahmed Erdogan. I'm real impressed, you know. And so, oh no, and he talks to Ahmed's secretary, and then hangs up, and I'm like, oh yeah, right, you know. And then in a little while, the phone rings, you know, and it's Ahmed back for Gus, and I'm like, ah.
He was, he was real impressive. We had
like
bought out
Predator.
Waxy Maxi's
That's what it looks
music
like.
store out of Washington D.C.
Uh-huh.
And that's exactly where they used to meet all the time. The biggies,
Uh-huh.
you know,
I'm gonna start
and
setting
that's
up
where they were
Studio A
deciding
to
which
go
direction
live
the music
in 3
was
minutes.
going.
Are we ignoring you too bad? Is that why you're
Yeah.
running
That's
away?
fine.
Putting him to sleep.
It's not that I'm being ignored.
Uh-huh.
It's that you guys are carrying it so well, you don't need me.
I know, but we could drop the ball any moment. So
Okay.
so don't go
Oh,
too
there
far.
goes.
Okay.
Well, you know where I'm.
You have
know where I'm.
okay. You have Glow Lady today. Okay, let me. She had a disc that she wanted me to try to turn into a DVD. I could not.
Remember Predator?
Try throwing it in the
Yeah.
computer
I
there
like Predator.
and see if it'll play it.
Okay.
It may only have a CD
The
player.
computer or the DVD player or what?
No, I don't think well, you can try it in the DVD player. I don't think it'll play it. Try it.
You know what? I don't even know how to use the CG part.
Well, just turn it on and put the disc in there and see if it comes up and plays and if it goes on the air.
Okay.
And if it doesn't, don't worry about it. You know, that's just the best we can do.
You still have some gas money.
Oh, gas. Okay, thank you. He gives me gas money, so I'll come do sound for his show.
Yeah, well, it's
Cool.
very important. It's not like we can actually afford to pay you or anything like that.
But he's getting perfection.
Yeah.
And it's worth it.
Not absolute perfection, but a lot closer than it would be normally. I like
Any
that.
profit's a profit.
I thought the music. I thought the audio end of last night's show was rather superb. Did you think so?
Yeah.
It sounded really nice.
Absolutely.
Good.
Well, I think last night's show was generally, all in all, pretty good. The animatronic head started creeping me out after a while for that one
That
show.
was weird.
Yeah, that started
I
creeping.
like the cat though.
Yeah. But it was generally.
Oh,
I
the
think
cat
it was-
creeps me out.
But the old antique
talking
with the
cat?
harpsichord.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. There was a lot of creepy stuff.
She
But
gave
the
you that
one
devil
woman
look.
with the harpsichord,
She turns her head and just evil.
it's pretty good. I like that. I want to see that thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for real.
She's like an
Still have
Okay.
some in there?
I'm going to go start fiddling around.
Okay. All right. Thank you for coming. I hope you had some tea. Did you?
Sure. I did.
Okay.
You know where I am.
She filled up.
Oh, my ears are. There we go. My ears are just about had it with these
Yeah.
headphones on. Oh,
So did you get the hail yesterday?
the what?
Hail?
Oh,
Snow. And
I got snow. We saw snow. I saw
I saw a
snow.
little bit. It was like hail snow. It was just pinging off. But it
I
was
saw
tiny.
no. I just saw snow. I didn't see hail yesterday
It wasn't
when
too
I was
special.
out. But So did you run across Ahmet too in your?
Yes, I did.
In your-
Like I said, they used to meet over at Waxy Maxie's in Washington, D.C.
Uh-huh.
And the last time I saw Ahmet, I was actually with Julian Lennon.
Oh, really?
Julian Lennon was his. Well, that would have been his second album.
Uh-huh.
When he was coming around again, he was on Charisma Records, and him and what's his name, Wozniak from Wea.
Uh-huh. Well, see, I always thought of Ahmet more or less as the godfather of the music business.
I mean, he did a good spot on that Tom Dowd biography.
Uh-huh.
He paid him good. Oh, another play. He's also portrayed in the Ray Charles stuff.
Uh-huh. And did you know Tommy Dowd?
I knew him not as a close friend, but I did get to meet him quite a few times.
Uh-huh.
He did disc cutting for everybody, or mastering, or he was very innovative when they went from 2 to 4 to 8 to super multi-track.
Right. Yeah.
And he was very innovative. He did a lot when he went away in the military.
Uh-huh.
And he had a lot of inventions and stuff that he worked on off the side. And then he came back into the music industry, and he was the engineer to work with. He was the scientist engineer, old time.
Well, that's why I always tell
school.
everybody. I say the best engineers are physicists. I say the physicists make the best engineers.
You know, when you talk to an engineer and they tell you how many microgrooves should be in your
branch,
that's they got that down. And back then, everything was direct to disc. There wasn't any tape.
Early on.
There wasn't any tape or a second shot at it.
Uh-huh.
Everything was direct, and.
Are you a member of the Sapphire Society? Are you? Do you have a membership?
I didn't get to keep it up, but I had.
Yeah, that's good.
God, yeah, there's just so much. I mean, I wish I kept up on a lot of the stuff. I just miss the way it used to be. It was a special.
It was
special
good.
group
It was
of people.
good, and a lot of really, really good music came out of the period. And basically through the '60s.
And that
stuff,
time will never be
we saw some
duplicated.
great stuff, didn't we?
But the sound is still better than what's coming out now.
I know.
And I don't understand. I mean, maybe because, you had tube amplifiers or you had all these nice compressors.
I know several reasons. We're coming to the end of the show.
Already? Oh, that show.
That show.
I was like, what?
Yeah. The end of. I don't. I usually don't run the credits. They don't show up anyway.
Produced.
But I have several reasons, and I'll tell you and you know what one of them is. I've been opposed to the 16-bit 44.1K format from the beginning.
Right.
I'm never going to get over it. It was the lowest it was obviously the lowest common denominator they could drag up.
Why I don't know why. It's such an inferior.
Mm-hmm. And
But
when
they made it to
and
standards.
when you hear people that have been in the business for 40 years and stuff like that make statements like everything that I recorded analog I love to listen to this day, and I can't stand to listen to anything that I've done digitally. And
it's true.
So there's that. Also, I know this, and I often liken audio to photography, and in this that when the autofocus cameras came out and everything was autofocus and auto exposure and all that kind of stuff, I found that I could snap 2 to 10 times as many photos on a given day. But I didn't come home with as many good photos because I didn't spend as much time looking through the viewfinder.
Right.
And when the digital technology makes it all so convenient as it is to do it, people don't spend as much time tweaking and thinking. You know, the thought doesn't go into it's just done,
Right.
and it's crap in, crap out.
Right. When you were using straight film, everything was it was a precious piece of material,
Oh,
and you were very
every-
you know. Now you just you 500. You
Yeah.
take 500 pictures. That's not, you get rid of what you want, or you keep it all, just put it away or whatever. But film was a very precious piece of commodity.
Right.
You